ATV demand craters, which is another sign of the times for the American economy. Today, I read an interesting article on ZeroHedge.com, written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled, Polaris Reports Alarming 2025 EPS Outlook as RZR and ATV Demand Slide. What really caught my attention about this article was some text beneath the title, which said, "Come on, Powell, lower those rates. The boys need to off-road in 200 horsepower RZRs." Maybe some boys need that, but some have no business with that kind of power. Quite some time ago, I got invited to a tailgate event hosted by my friend's CPA firm. One of his clients, who I had met previously, had most of his face bandaged up. I went over and spoke with him, and he told me about what happened. He had bought a new side-by-side, and in the first week of owning it, he was going too fast and flipped it. He busted up his face really bad. I can't remember how many stitches he had to get. He told me when he was shopping for one of these expensive toys, he thought he needed the biggest, baddest side-by-side with the most powerful engine. I vividly remember him telling me, "You don't need that much power." He truly thought he needed the biggest engine available, but he found out why he didn't. His girlfriend was sitting next to him making some funny faces as he was telling me all this. I'm really glad he was okay. It could have been far worse. He could have been seriously injured. The crazy thing is, a neighbor of mine decades ago had a large estate home with some rolling hills and quite a bit of acreage. One of his friends brought over a Honda Odyssey, not a Honda Odyssey minivan. This was during the 1980s. They made something that looked like a side-by-side back then, and it was called a Honda Odyssey. It had a full cage, and it was an off-road vehicle. Anyway, his son was driving it around the property and went up one of the hills too fast, and it rolled backwards and flipped upside down. Fortunately, he was harnessed into the vehicle and didn't get injured. You need to be really careful with these expensive toys. For most people, that's all these really are. It surprised me when I saw the text beneath the title telling Jerome Powell to lower rates so boys could off-road in a Polaris. If you need to finance one of these, you probably shouldn't be buying one. According to the author, Polaris shares fell 6% in pre-market trading after the company surprised investors with guidance for a 65% year-over-year decline in adjusted EPS for 2025, coming in far below expectations. The author said higher interest rates deterred customers from purchasing these off-road vehicles. Here are my thoughts. I'm sure interest rates are a big part of it, but I think there are other factors to consider. Insurance has gotten more expensive. It doesn't matter if we are talking about home insurance or car insurance. That is pinching people's pocketbooks. Then there are higher grocery costs, higher interest on credit cards, and various forms of consumer debt. This all creates a situation where people have less disposable income to afford a monthly payment on some fancy off-road vehicle. Millions of people in America have also had to resume making student loan payments. This means more money out the door to service this debt obligation that can no longer be spent on something fun. The multi-year reprieve from student loans allowed people to go wild and buy expensive toys or take vacations or upgrade their car. Well, not anymore. I know someone who has a very nice customized side-by-side that was set up for racing. He also has several other off-road vehicles, which is one of his passions. Of course, he has a big truck to pull the trailer to haul these around. I once asked his wife how they were doing with retirement savings. She said, "What retirement savings? Have you seen all of the stuff we've been buying lately?" When she said buying, she didn't mean paying cash. She meant buying with the use of financing. This is not uncommon when it comes to buying expensive toys. This is all fun now, but there is going to come a day when these vehicles depreciate to the point where they aren't worth much, and they will need a lot of maintenance. Let me ask you some questions. Would you rather have memories of enjoying these off-road vehicles when you are at retirement age with no money other than what you get from Social Security? Or would you rather forego buying this kind of stuff when you are young so you can reach retirement age with a mountain of money and the ability to do whatever you want to do in your free time? I'll let you answer that question in the comment section below. Sometimes people plan on building memories with these fun toys, but they are so busy working to make the payments on them, they don't have the time to enjoy them. That's the case for a friend of mine with an expensive boat. He is so busy working, he doesn't have time to use the boat. He is lucky to use it once or twice a year, but he is paying thousands of dollars each year to own and operate it, and he barely operates it. He has to pay someone to put it in the water because it's so big. Then he has to pay to keep it docked. It costs a lot of money to fill up the big gas tank with marine fuel. He has to pay for insurance on it. He has to pay someone to constantly maintain it. He said this boat constantly needs maintenance. Then, when he pulls it out of the water at the end of the season, he has to pay someone to clean it, winterize it, wax it, etc. Fortunately, he doesn't have to pay to store it somewhere during the off-season because he has a large building to keep it in. I remember watching an episode of Pawn Stars where Rick's son said his dad told him that a boat is just a hole in the ground that you throw money into. Based on my friend's experience, I tend to agree. But what do I know? I don't own a boat, and I'm just some guy on YouTube with a gong. Getting back to the article, I really hope that Jerome Powell doesn't lower rates any further. We need to keep rates in a normal range for a while. Note I said normal. I get tired of hearing people complain about interest rates being too high. Far too many people and investors grew comfortable in an artificially low interest rate environment. Now many of them are throwing a tantrum like a small child to get what they want. I really hope the Fed doesn't cave. I'm sure they will, though. I have no doubt Donald Trump will pressure the Fed, even though the Fed is supposed to be independent. Who knows what happens behind the scenes? What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.